Welcome to HFY Hero Fi, where the ordinary become extraordinary. Here we celebrate the fearless, the champions who rise against impossible odds. From tales of distant galaxies to the darkest corners of the supernatural, HFY Hero Fi brings you the ultimate stories of heroism. If you believe you've been chosen, heed the call and subscribe now. Let us Hero Fi you and come with us on our next adventure. Grand Central Station on Christmas Eve was the kind of chaos that made people question all their life choices at once. The golden marble ceiling twinkled with constellations while a flood of commuters surged beneath it with their arms full of gift bags, overpriced coffee, and the raw, unfiltered panic of last-minute shopping. Ethan Smith wove through the crowd with practiced ease. His curly, brown hair fell loosely around his ears underneath his hoodie. He wasn't here for gifts. He was here for opportunity. "Yo, Ethan," Tony shouted from behind a pillar, waving him over. Tony and Diego were older, 17 and 18, the type of guys who had reputations, not report cards. "Took you long enough." "Had to sneak out," Ethan muttered, pulling his hood lower. "Sister Clara was on patrol at school. That woman has bat sonar or something." Diego smirked. "Relax. You ready to make some Christmas money?" Ethan shoved his hands into his pockets. He hated how easily those words hooked him. Money. Christmas. Gifts he could actually give Sonia, Andrew, and Millie. Anything was better than the charity bin socks Haven Christian Academy handed out every year with a pat on the shoulder. Ethan wasn't angry with the academy. They tried their best, and he was grateful for a safe place to sleep and consistent meals. "What's the job?" Ethan asked. Tony pointed his chin toward the marble floor. "Crowd's thick today. Lots of wallets and purses. You run interference, and we collect." Ethan frowned. "That's not what I thought we'd be doing." Diego clapped a heavy hand on his shoulder. "Stop acting all holy. You want money or not?" Ethan clenched his jaw. He hated stealing. Hated the way it made his stomach twist. But he also hated being the broke orphan kid who never had anything to give. Ethan nodded once. "Fine." They moved quickly. Diego bumped into people. Tony lifted wallets and slipped them to Ethan, who shoved them into his backpack with shaking hands. His heart pounded in his ears. His fingers were ice. He told himself it didn't matter. He told himself he'd stop after today. He told himself this was for his friends. Then he saw it. A black briefcase sitting beside a bench. Alone. Unattended. Unclaimed. "Yo," Ethan said. "What's that?" Diego followed his gaze. His eyes widened. "Oh, that looks fancy." Tony whistled low. "Leather. Real leather. Bet there's money in it. Or jewelry." Ethan swallowed. He wasn't stupid. Unattended bags were usually trouble, but this briefcase practically glowed. It was sleek and expensive, and it was calling his name. Diego grinned. "Our Christmas miracle is right there, kid." Tony elbowed Ethan. "You want to buy your little friends something nice, don't you? This is how. Grab and go." Ethan hesitated. Then an announcement blared overhead about incoming delays, drowning out his conscience. He walked toward the bench, heart pounding. Nobody was looking. No one yelled, "Hey, that's mine." No cops turned their heads. The warning bells in his mind rang, but he ignored them. He reached down. His fingers closed around the handle. Nothing happened. He lifted it and then paused. "Run," Diego hissed. Ethan hustled away with it, losing himself in the crowd. They weaved their way between rushing travelers. They didn't stop until they skidded around a corner into a quieter corridor. Breathless, Ethan dropped the briefcase on the floor. Diego crouched beside him. "Open it. Let's see the treasure." Ethan's palms were sweating. "What if it's someone's medication?" he muttered. "Or important papers?" "Then we'll give it back," Tony said, already smirking. "After a small finder's fee, of course." "Come on," Diego growled. "Don't wuss out. You want to give your little orphan buddies something good for Christmas? Open it." Ethan exhaled shakily. He flipped the golden latches. The lid creaked. Inside, nestled in dark velvet, was an orb. Black glass swirled with streaks of silver. It pulsed faintly like a heartbeat. Ethan stared. What is it?" Diego's eyes gleamed. "Expensive." Tony leaned in. "Bro, we just hit the jackpot." Ethan swallowed, mesmerized. It was beautiful. Strange. Hypnotic. "How much?" he whispered. "Realistically? Whatever we want," Diego said. "5 grand. 10. Who knows?" Ethan's breath caught. 10 grand. He could buy Sonia a real jacket instead of the thrift store one she patched with duct tape. Shoot, he could buy her a whole new wardrobe. He could get Andrew a proper Bible, not the cracked hand-me-down one he had taped together. He could get Millie all the toys she ever asked for. He could actually be generous. He closed the briefcase with a click. I'll hold on to it, Ethan said, voice small. Tony didn't protest and gave Ethan a wide grin. A part of Ethan wondered why Diego and Tony didn't want to keep it themselves. Was he being set up? It didn't matter. The allure of the money made him grip the handle tighter. But something cold slithered down Ethan's spine as he lifted the briefcase again. Whispers echoed in his mind. A voice that wasn't his own said, "Mine." Ethan jerked. "Did you hear that?" he gasped. "Hear what?" Diego asked. He held the briefcase tighter. Ethan forced a shaky laugh. "Nothing. Never mind." As they left Grand Central, Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that something inside that case was awake, and that someone somewhere had just felt him take it. "It's just nerves," he told himself. "I'm doing this to help people." The youth room at Haven Christian Academy smelled like old carpet, dry erase markers, and powdered cocoa. Folding chairs formed a circle beneath buzzing fluorescent lights. A wooden cross hung crookedly on the wall above a poster that read, "Jesus is the reason for the season," in peeling glitter letters. Ethan sat slouched in his chair, trying very hard not to think about the heavy black briefcase under his bunk. Sonia sat to his right, twirling a pen between her fingers. Andrew sat on his left, Bible open, actually paying attention, because of course he was. At the end of the circle, little Millie, the 9-year-old who followed them like a puppy, swung her legs under her chair, sneakers not quite touching the floor. Sister Clara stood in front of them, Bible in hand, cardigan wrapped tight around her shoulders. "Tonight," she said, "we're talking about treasure." Ethan flinched. "Jesus said," Sister Clara read, "where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So I want you to think about this." She paused and took a breath. If someone could see everything you think about, worry about, obsess about, what would they say your treasure is? "Sleep," Sonia said immediately. Millie raised her hand. "Chocolate." Andrew shrugged and said, "The Bible." Sister Clara smiled faintly. "And you, Ethan?" He stared at the floor and said, "I don't know." Sister Clara's eyes softened, but they didn't let go of him. "Sometimes," she said, "we say Jesus with our mouths, but if someone looked at our decisions, they'd see a different treasure." Sister Clara continued, "Money, control, revenge, survival. Those things feel safer than trusting God." She closed her Bible. "But they will always take more from you than they give." Millie scrunched her nose. "Even chocolate?" "Yes," Sister Clara said gravely. "Especially chocolate." She said this as she rubbed her own belly. The room laughed. Ethan didn't. He could still feel the orb through layers of floor and wood and blankets. Like it knew his name. Like it was waiting. "Keep it together," he whispered to himself. When youth group ended, Sister Clara stopped him at the door. "Ethan," she said quietly, "be careful which voices you listen to." Ethan tensed. "That Tony and Diego are not good influences." He swallowed. "You say that like you know something." "I know enough," she replied. "Sometimes we carry things that don't belong to us." Ethan stared straight into her eyes, trying to keep his composure. "Lay your burdens before the Lord." Ethan let out a relieved sigh. "Yes, Sister Clara." Then he left. Later, the four of them walked down Arthur Avenue, bundled in coats and scarves, faces tinged pink from the cold. Christmas lights zigzagged overhead, storefronts glowed, and the smell of pizza, garlic knots, and roasted chestnuts wrapped the street in warm, delicious lies. "Look at the lights." Millie spun in a circle, almost slipping on a patch of ice. "It's like the stars came down." "Careful," Andrew said, grabbing her hood. "If you break your leg, Sister Clara will blame us." Ethan lagged a little behind, hands buried in his pockets. He should have been able to enjoy the city lights and his friends. It was like a whole Hallmark movie vibe. But every time the wind cut through his jacket, he thought of the briefcase. Every time he saw a window full of expensive gifts, he thought, if I sell it, I could actually buy something for them. Millie fell back to walk beside him. "Hey, Ethan," she said. He gave her a nod. "Are we poor?" she asked bluntly. He blinked. "That's a random question." "I just wondered," she said, shrugging. "Some of the kids at school say they're getting like 10 presents. We don't get 10. He stared at the pavement. "Yeah, we're poor." She nodded, accepting that. "Okay." Then she smiled up at him. "It's fine. I got you guys." Something squeezed in his chest. Before he could answer, a shadow detached itself from a doorway ahead and stepped into their path. He was just a man at first glance, standing at 6 feet. He wore a cheap winter coat and a knit cap, but there was something wrong in the way he moved. Too smooth, too stiff, like his joints bent to someone else's will. His eyes found Ethan. "If you don't give him back the briefcase," the man said calmly, "you and your little friends are dead." Millie pressed closer to Ethan. "I'm scared." "What briefcase?" Sonia demanded. "I don't know what you're talking about," Ethan said, voice going high. The man's smile didn't reach his unblinking eyes. "You took something from Grand Central Station. A black case. You interrupted our plan, and he wants it back." "He who?" Andrew asked. The man tilted his head. "The master." The word slid over Ethan's skin like oil. "You opened it," the man went on. "You touched the relic. Now it's tied to you. If you don't return it by midnight," he glanced at Millie, "you won't be the only one who pays." "That's a threat," Sonia snapped. "You can't just." The air around the man darkened. Shadows thickened at his feet, swirling like black smoke. Millie whimpered. "Ethan!" "Run away," Ethan yelled, shoving Sonia and Andrew back. "I'll deal with." "You can't deal with this," the man hissed. His voice was terrifyingly amused. His face twisted. For a dizzying second, Ethan saw what was underneath. Skin going gray and patchy, eyes flaring dull red, teeth too sharp. Ethan grabbed Millie's wrist. "Run." They turned, but then shadows burst from the alley, wrapping around Millie's waist and legs like living ropes. She screamed as she was yanked backward off her feet. "Ethan!" "Millie!" Andrew lunged for her. A tendril of darkness slammed into his chest, knocking him onto the sidewalk. Sonia grabbed Millie's hands, heels digging into the concrete. "I've got you." The evil minion stepped closer, eyes glowing. "Bring the briefcase to Woodlawn Cemetery," the layered voice said through jagged teeth. "Midnight. Come alone. If you try anything clever, the child dies." Millie's fingers slipped from Sonia's grip, and then she was swallowed by darkness. Ethan dropped to his knees, lungs seizing. "I did this," he rasped. "It's my fault." Sonia knelt beside Andrew as he groaned, pushing himself up. "You okay?" she asked. "No," Andrew said. "Are you?" "Of course, I'm not okay." Tears filled Sonia's eyes. "What do we do about Millie?" Ethan stared into the shadows where Millie had vanished. "I have to go," Ethan said. "I have to bring it." Sonia grabbed his jacket. "You're not going anywhere alone. That's what got us in this mess in the first place. You going alone to hang out with those idiots." A warm light flared at the end of the block. Sister Clara marched toward them, cross clutched in one hand, coat flapping. The air around her shimmered, and the street lamps flickered brighter as she passed. "What happened?" she demanded. "How did you?" Ethan's voice trailed. "Never you mind that," Sister Clara said. "Where's Millie?" They told her in a rush about the evil man and his threat, the cemetery, and Millie. Sister Clara's jaw clenched. "He's moving faster than I hoped," she muttered. Then to Ethan, "You still have it?" "Yes," Ethan said, voice barely audible. "At school." "You will not go to that cemetery alone," she said. "And you will not go without prayer." She looked between the three of them. "You opened a door, Ethan. All of you walked through it. Now we close it, God willing, without losing anyone else." "Can we get her back?" Ethan asked, his eyes filling up with tears. "Yes," Sister said, her mouth a hard line. Guilt didn't just sit on Ethan's shoulders. It pressed on his lungs until breathing felt like a chore. Later that night, after a frantic blur of planning and panic, he slipped out of the dorms. Sonia and Andrew followed close behind, because there was absolutely no way they were letting him wander off alone again. "Where are you going?" Sonia pressed. Ethan could see her at the top of the stairwell with her hands on her hips. "To see someone," he muttered. "Yeah, super comforting," Sonia said. "Love the lack of detail." She gave a side eye to Andrew, who shrugged and followed behind Ethan down the stairs. They stepped out into the service corridor. Pipes rattled above them. Cold air rolled along the ground, carrying the familiar smell of dumpsters and wet brick. "This way," Ethan said. He led them to the row of blue dumpsters and the sagging tarp strung between two bins. This was Jay's spot. "Who's Jay?" Sonia whispered to Andrew. "Are we about to get murdered?" Andrew gripped his Bible tighter, but didn't say anything. "Yo, Jay," Ethan called. "It's me." For a moment, there was only the hum of a distant truck and the hiss of steam from a vent. Then the lump under the tarp shifted. A tan face with a brown beard peeked out, wild hair sticking from under a beanie. Jay squinted, then smiled a wide grin that was missing a few teeth. "Ethan, my boy," he said. "Thought you forgot about me." Up close, he smelled like sour milk and old clothes. Sonia tried not to visibly react. Andrew just adjusted his Bible and watched. Ethan dropped to one knee, sliding his backpack off his shoulder. He pulled out a wrapped hamburger. "Nah, Jay," he said, handing it over. "You know I wouldn't forget you." Jay lifted it to his nose, inhaling like it was a turkey in a commercial. "Ah, thank you. You're a good kid. I wish more people were like you." "People don't usually say that about me," Ethan said. "Usually I get the opposite." Millie's scream echoed in his mind. He flinched. Jay unwrapped the burger, hands careful, almost reverent. Snowflakes drifted into the alley, melting on the tarp. "You're a little lost right now, but deep down you are a good kid." "Don't you got somewhere to go, Jay?" Ethan asked softly. Jay looked at the burger. "No, I don't have anywhere to go. There's no place for me anymore." "Thank you for your kindness, Ethan." Sonia stepped closer, curiosity winning over discomfort. Andrew lingered beside her. Jay took a big bite, then spoke between chews. "You can't let people get to you. The ones always putting you down. They don't see what God's doing in you." "I'm not even sure what God's doing in me," Ethan said. Ethan looked away. "Today I stole something. My friend was taken. She could die, and it's my fault." "I see." Jay's eyes sharpened. He swallowed, then said quietly, "Life's never easy for artists like us." Andrew blinked. "Artists? What's that supposed to mean?" Ethan asked. "Artists are visionaries," Jay replied. "They see the world as it is and as it could be. That scares people. So they reject them, mock them, even crucify them sometimes." He gestured at the alley. "You see possibilities where others see fear." "If being an artist means getting rejected," Ethan muttered, "why bother?" A single tear slid down Jay's cheek. "Because that's how God made you," he said. "Visionaries point the way." Jay continued. "When people are lost, they need someone who can see farther. Why do you insist on following when you could lead?" He squeezed Ethan's shoulder. "God forgives you. You must strengthen your walk with God." Ethan let out a hollow laugh. "I don't walk with God. I barely crawl. I messed everything up, and you want me to lead people. What about me?" He asked quietly. "Who's gonna help me?" Jay opened his mouth to answer, but then Ethan saw his mural on the far wall. Twisting letters, blues and purples around a crown. It was covered in silver circles. Perfect metallic rings floated across his work, like someone had used it for target practice. "There's silver circles all over it," Ethan said, anger cracking through the guilt. "Jay, who tagged my stuff?" Jay chuckled. "Now you know how other writers feel when you paint over their tags." "Ha ha," Ethan said. "You know how long this took me?" 2 hours, 15 minutes, 23 seconds, Jay answered. Andrew squinted. "You timed him?" "I was having an off day," Ethan muttered. "Could have done it faster." He stared at the circles. They felt like a message, a warning. After a moment, Jay shuffled over and draped an arm around his shoulders. "Don't worry, Ethan," he said. "Everything will work out in the end. Have faith." "Sure it will," Ethan said. He shoved his hands into his pockets, feeling the weight of everything he'd done press into his chest like a heartbeat. "I'll see you around, Jay." He turned to go. "Wait," Sonia said. Jay tilted his head. "Yes. You're different," she said. "This whole thing is weird. A demon sorcerer guy took our friend and wants this weird orb thing. Can't you help us?" Andrew cleared his throat. "Sister Clara said we need to be covered by the Spirit. I feel like you know more than you're saying." Jay smiled softly. "I do." He stepped forward so he stood before all three of them. "Do you want help?" he asked. "Yes," Ethan said instantly. "I want God's help. I don't want to be this person anymore. I don't just want to feel sorry. I want to change. I want him to use me even if I don't know why." Sonia swallowed. "I don't know if I believe like Andrew does, but I've seen shadows grab my friend. So, if God's offering help, I'm not saying no." Andrew nodded. "I believe, but I'm scared." He balled up his fists. "I know my God is a great God. Jesus is my Lord and Savior. I don't want to be afraid anymore." Jay's eyes shone, reflecting something brighter than the alley's light. "Close your eyes," he said. They did. Jay placed a hand on each of their shoulders. His palms were warm and steady. "Father," Jay said softly, "you hear them. You've always heard them. They're turning toward you. Fill them with your spirit. Give them courage, wisdom, discernment. Let them carry your light into the dark." Warmth washed over them. It started in their chests and spread outward. It was soft and powerful at the same time, like sunlight on a frozen day. Ethan felt shame loosen its claws. Sonia felt doubt vanish. Andrew felt the knot of fear inside him unfurl. They breathed together, slower, deeper. When they opened their eyes, the street looked the same. But they were forever changed. Jay smiled. "You're not alone, my children. Are we filled with the Spirit now?" Sonia whispered as she looked at her hands. Jay smiled. "You are. Follow the Holy Spirit, for He will never lead you astray. He will guide you and instruct you." Andrew exhaled. "Okay, cool. Now what?" Jay nodded toward the street. "Go. Get the briefcase. Sister Clara will meet you at Woodlawn. Don't let fear lead you astray." "Will we see you there?" Ethan asked. Jay gave the kids a knowing smile. "For those who seek me, they will find me." Woodlawn Cemetery sprawled across the Bronx under an iron-gray sky. Snow lay thick on the ground, muffling the city's usual noise into a dull, distant hum. On any other night, time in Woodlawn among the trees and cold would have been peaceful. But today wasn't just any other night. The gates were locked. "This way," Sister Clara pointed, and then led the way through a gap in the fence. Her flashlight beam cut a pale trail across the graves. Ethan carried the black briefcase, hand wrapped so tight around the handle his knuckles ached. Sonia walked on his right, Andrew on his left. "You okay?" Sonia whispered. "No," Ethan said. "You?" "Also no," Sonia responded. "I don't think any of us are okay," Andrew said quietly. Sister Clara glanced back. "Good. Fear means you understand the danger. Faith means we walk anyway." "Love your pep talks, sister," Sonia muttered. They followed the main path until it opened onto a clearing surrounded by big marble monuments and leafless trees. Their footprints were the first to disturb the white snow here. "Midnight," Andrew said, checking his cracked watch. "We're on time." The temperature dropped sharply. Mist curled over the snow, thickening into low, creeping fog. Ethan set the briefcase on a stone slab. The orb inside hummed, like it knew its master was near. Shadows deepened between the graves. Then, from the darkness, tall, crooked figures emerged. Patchy gray skin, stretched limbs, dull red eyes. Their claws scraped against the stone with an awful, grating sound. "Cursed ones," Sister Clara hissed. "Stay behind me." She held out her silver cross in their direction. "Not happening," Ethan said. "We stand with you." Andrew nodded. "Yeah, we're done hiding." The evil one appeared. His black coat and red lining were untouched by snow. The black lacquer on his cane shone in the moonlight, with the silver ring at its head catching the light. His skin was too smooth, too pale. His eyes were like polished coins of silver. "You came," he said. "I praise your obedience. Although I see you're not alone." "Where is she?" Ethan demanded. "Where's Millie?" The devil creature smiled. "Safe. For now." He flicked his cane toward the briefcase. "The relic." Ethan's hand hovered over it. "You promised." "I promised nothing," the devil said. "I made a statement. You chose to believe it. Humans are so eager to cling to hope, even when it isn't offered." Sister Clara stepped forward. "You will release the child." "Ah," the devil said. "The nun. Nice to see you're still kicking." His eyes glittered. "Still playing shepherd?" "Someone has to," she snapped. "Since you're so determined to be the wolf." The devil's smile thinned. "Give me the relic, and I might consider letting the girl live. For a while." Sonia whispered, "He's lying." "Everything in me says he's lying." Andrew nodded. "What do we do?" Ethan's heart pounded. "We don't play by his rules," Ethan said. "We're not just handing it over." Sister Clara glanced at him, surprised but approving. The devil's lip curled up in disgust. "I smell him on you." Light flickered at the edge of the clearing. Jay's words echoed in Ethan's mind. Ethan took a deep breath. "God help us," he whispered. He grabbed Sonia's and Andrew's hands. Then they fell to their knees in prayer. The devil lifted his cane. "Prayers won't save you," he growled. The devil slammed down his cane, and shadows exploded out of it like a bomb. "I don't take kindly to people interrupting my plans. That orb of death and destruction was meant to detonate in Grand Central Station, and you took it. Now you will pay." The cursed ones lunged, shrieking, teeth bared. Sister Clara thrust her cross forward. Golden light burst from it, forming a dome around herself and the kids. The first wave of creatures slammed into it and bounced back, skin sizzling where it touched the light. The dome flickered but held. "Stay close," Sister Clara said through gritted teeth. Cursed ones paced along the barrier, testing for weak points. Their claws scraped the barrier's surface, sending up sparks. The devil strolled around the edge. "You can't hold your little barrier forever, sister. This is a cemetery. Do you know how much grief and fear are buried here?" How much I can draw from. There are no words you can say that would make me fear you, Sister Clara said. She closed her eyes, lips moving in deep prayer. The dome of holy energy brightened. Ethan, Sonia, and Andrew joined hands. Lord, Andrew prayed aloud, voice trembling but clear. You are stronger than death, stronger than fear. Surround us. God, Sonia added. I never thought I'd say this without sarcasm, but, we really need you right now. Ethan squeezed their hands. We can't fight this alone. Please protect Millie. Don't let anyone get hurt. And show us what to do. Stand with Sister Clara. Ethan heard a voice say in his mind. His eyes widened as he felt a peace run through his body. A peace that made no sense considering the circumstances. Then, he felt Andrew move forward towards Sister Clara. The three kids looked at each other, and in that moment, they were sure about what they had to do. The orb inside the briefcase thrummed louder, the sound vibrating up through Ethan's knees as he knelt on the ground. The devil's eyes shone. Do you feel that? It's waking up. All those souls, ready to be swallowed in one glorious move until it's ready to explode. He raised his cane. Shadows formed tendrils and whipped at the dome. Each strike made Sister Clara flinch as dark, shadowed creatures formed. The light of her barrier flickered more violently. I will not let your cursed ones harm these children. Sweat dripped down her temple. A thin, jagged crack appeared overhead. I will not give up, Sister Clara gasped. We are not powerless because God is with us. The cursed ones hurled themselves at the crack. A claw tore through, then its arm. One forced its head in, roaring as the light burned it, but still it pushed. Andrew saw it and then took a deep breath. He raised a hand as he prayed. A soft golden yellow light emerged from his hand and strengthened Sister Clara's barrier. His heart pounded in his chest. I don't really know what I'm doing, Sister Clara, he said with his heart pounding, but I will not be afraid. The devil laughed maniacally. Sister Clara crumpled to one knee, robes heavy with sweat. A violent shudder ripped through the dome, widening the fissure above. Beside her, Andrew offered a steadying hand. She grasped it, hauled herself up, and together they forced the barrier to hold. With a shriek, a cursed one ripped straight through the barrier and plunged inside. Sonia stepped forward and swung as if to punch its chest, only for a sudden burst of wind to blast from her fist, slamming the creature back into the shimmering barrier. Its skin hissed, then bubbled as it burned. Sonia flinched, hands flying to her ears to block out its piercing screams. Snarling, the monster lashed out with a backhand that sent her skidding across the snow. Sonia! Ethan yelled with a choked cry. Everything else blurred in his eyes. He only saw the creature coming for Sonia. Ethan charged at it, gripping a broken tree branch like a spear. With all his strength, he rammed the branch through the monster's ribs. The cursed one seemed unfazed as it gave a loud screech in Ethan's face. Ethan felt a fear settle in the pit of his stomach, but then he remembered God's voice. Flames flared out of his hands in response. The flames billowed in arcs and seared the cursed one's torso. It was so quickly engulfed that it didn't even have time to scream again. Enough! Sister Clara shouted. She surged to her feet, cross blazing bright. A beam of golden yellow light shot out, slamming the cursed one back through the dome and into its allies. They toppled like grotesque bowling pins, but the exertion cost her. Even with Andrew's radiance, the dome fractured. Shadows poured in through the breaks, whipping around Sister Clara's waist and arms. She cried out as they lifted her off the ground. Clara! Ethan cried. The cross slipped from her hand, landing in the snow with a hiss. Cursed ones flooded the clearing. We're losing, Sonia groaned, struggling up. Don't give up, Andrew said, voice trembling but determined. I know you heard God speak to us. He thrust his hands forward, and a burst of radiant light exploded from his palms, lancing across the battlefield in blinding streaks. The nearest cursed ones recoiled as the beams struck them, their shadows peeling away from their bodies like smoke burned off by the sun. Andrew staggered from the effort, but he forced another pulse of light outward, driving the creatures back with searing, holy brilliance. We still have. Have what? A savior? The devil asked mockingly. What has he ever done for you? He pointed his cane at Sister Clara. Shadows tightened around her neck. Give me the orb, he said, or watch her suffer. Ethan looked from Sister Clara to the briefcase. He was done letting the devil set the terms. He stepped forward, feeling Sonia and Andrew step with him. No, Ethan said. We're not giving you anything because what he's done is give his life. We're not going to waste his sacrifice by giving in to you. The devil's eyes narrowed. Then you've chosen death. He raised his cane, but then all three of them struck at once. Ethan surged forward first, flames roaring up his arms and bursting outward as he hurled a torrent of fire straight into the devil's chest. Andrew followed with a shout, unleashing a spear of radiant light that split into branching rays, each one slamming into the devil and burning through the shadows around him. Sonia darted to the side, sweeping her arms in a tight arc. A concentrated blast of wind ripped free, howling as it slammed into him like an invisible battering ram. The combined force of fire, light, and air crashed into the bad guy in a single strike. "Did you guys know we could do that?" Sonia asked. "Get away from my kids." The voice was gentle, but it hit like thunder. Everyone turned. Jay stood at the edge of the clearing, snow dusting his shoulders, beanie crooked. His coat was the same worn thing he always wore in the alley. The air around him shimmered. A cursed one hissed and charged. Jay lifted his hand. A ring of golden yellow light blasted from his palm, hitting the creature square in the chest. It flew backward, slammed into an angel statue, and crumpled, smoke curling from its skin. The other cursed ones froze. The devil's smile cracked. "You," he said softly. "Must you always meddle?" "Funny," Jay said. "I was about to say the same." He walked forward. Each step left a faint glow on the snow that faded after a second. Shadows recoiled from his feet. Sister Clara dangled in the air, shadows tightening around her. Jay flicked his fingers. The tendrils snapped like burnt threads. She dropped and then grabbed her cross with shaking fingers. "Up you get," Jay said without looking back. "We're not finished." "Yes, sir," she croaked, pushing to her feet. The devil's eyes burned. "You can't stop this. The orb is almost ready." "Is that so?" Jay asked calmly. He extended his hands. Light poured out and surged across the clearing like a tidal wave. Cursed ones screamed as it hit them, skin cracking, shadows burning away. Some disintegrated into ash. Others dove behind monuments, but there was nowhere truly dark enough to hide. The devil threw up a shield of shadow, the light crashing against it, sparks of gold and black hissing in the air. "Pray," Sister Clara called over her shoulder. Ethan, Sonia, Andrew, and Sister Clara joined in without needing to be told twice. "Lord," Sister Clara shouted, "in Jesus' name, break his hold on this ground and on that child." "God," Sonia yelled, "you said you came to set captives free." "Well, Millie is very captive right now. She needs you." "Please," Andrew cried, "protect the people in this city. They don't even know they're in danger. Have mercy." Ethan's voice rose with theirs. "I opened this door. I put my friends in danger, but I believe you're bigger than my sin. Take this orb out of his power, out of mine. Don't let it hurt anyone." The orb howled, causing the briefcase to rattle where it sat. The devil laughed, the sound ragged. "Do you feel that? It's almost ready. It'll be mine, and then it will detonate, consuming the entire city in its destruction." Jay moved toward the briefcase, light streaming from his hands, still locked with the devil's shadows. "Ethan," he called, "bring it here." Ethan sprinted, dodging a falling cursed one as it shrieked and turned to dust under Sister Clara's cross. He grabbed the briefcase. The cold stabbed up his arms like daggers. His legs felt like they were wading through tar. "Yes, touch it," the devil snarled, "so that it will consume you." Jay pressed one hand to the briefcase lid. "Open it, Ethan." Andrew shouted. "That seems like a very bad idea." "Trust me," Jay said. Ethan took a shaky breath and flicked the latches. The lid sprang open. The orb pulsed like a black heart, threads of silver storm whipping under its surface. Ethan's lungs seized. "Give it to me," the devil roared. Shadows lashed out toward it. Jay moved faster. He scooped the orb up in both hands. Light and dark collided, a shockwave rippling out through the cemetery. Snow blasted into the air in a wide ring. Headstones cracked. The remaining cursed ones dissolved mid-snarl, torn apart by clashing forces. The devil screamed. Jay stood at the center of it, eyes closed, jaw set. The orb shuddered in his grip, trying to swallow the light. But the light didn't get swallowed up. It flooded in. The black glass turned gray, then white, then blinding gold. Cracks webbed across its surface. "They are not yours," Jay said quietly. "They never were. You stole them from me." The devil's form flickered. For a second, his outline blurred, revealing something thin and monstrous beneath the fancy coat. From behind a mausoleum, a thin wail cut through the cold. "Millie!" Sonia shouted. Andrew sprinted toward the sound, Ethan and Sonia right behind him. They found Millie bound in thinning shadows, eyes squeezed shut, tears frozen on her cheeks. As the orb's remaining power flickered, the shadows convulsed and pulled tight, imploding in a violent inward rush before winking out of existence. Shards from the orb rained down onto the snow. The devil staggered backward, clutching his chest like something vital had been ripped away. Millie dropped into Andrew's arms. "Hey kid," Andrew said, voice breaking. "We got you." She blinked up at him. "What took so long?" "Traffic," Andrew said. Ethan laughed weakly, tears burning his eyes. "You okay?" "I think so," she said. "My stomach hurts. That guy talked a lot. I was so bored." Sonia hugged her tight. "Don't you ever do that again." "I got kidnapped," Millie protested. "What was I supposed to do?" "Say no." Across the clearing, the devil glared at them with pure hatred. "This isn't over," he hissed at Jay. "They still live in my world. My networks. My systems." Jay's gaze was sad. "When will you repent and come back to me?" The devil snapped his fingers. "Never." A column of shadow wrapped around him and collapsed inward. When it faded, he was gone. Silence settled over Woodlawn. Snow began to fall gently again, as if nothing had happened. Sister Clara sank onto a stone bench, cross resting in her lap, breathing hard but alive. Jay's hands no longer glowed, but the air around him still felt different. Charged. Holy. Millie squinted at him. "Are you Ethan's homeless friend?" "Yup," Ethan said. "I think he's more than that, though." "How?" she asked. Jay smiled. "I'm just someone who really, really loves you." Ethan's chest tightened. "Thank you," he said. "For everything." Jay chuckled. "You're welcome. Are you staying?" Sonia asked. She looked down at her snow-covered boots. "I want you to stay." "For a while," Jay said. "There are still walls to paint over." He nodded at Ethan. "But you've got work to do tonight. Midnight's coming." "Mass," Andrew said, realization dawning. "We're gonna be late for church." "For once," Sonia said. "I really, really want to go." Jay stepped backward, the graveyard shadows parting around him like obedient water. "Remember," he said, "you're not alone. Ever." They blinked. "Wait." Then he was gone. The chapel at Haven was full enough that kids had to squeeze into pews. Candles flickered along the walls, staining everything in warm gold. The nativity up front still looked hilariously plastic, Mary's paint chipped, one of the wise men a little cross-eyed. Ethan thought it might be the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. He sat at the end of a pew, Sonia beside him, Andrew beside her, and Millie perched on Andrew's other side, wrapped in a blanket Sister Clara had forced on her. Sister Clara herself stood near the back, leaning against the wall, cross in hand, watching them with tired, soft eyes. The priest talked about light coming into darkness, about God choosing to show up as a baby in a world that didn't deserve him. Ethan listened. Not because he was supposed to, or because Sister Clara would quiz him later, or because Andrew was writing down notes. He listened because everything in him knew God was real. When the offering plate came around, Ethan dug into his pocket. A few crumpled dollars, a handful of coins. The old version of him would have thought, save it. You earned this. You have nothing else. He dropped it all in. Sonia glanced at him. Who are you? She whispered. And what have you done with the criminal formerly known as Ethan? He smiled. Upgraded model. Andrew snorted. They stood and sang Silent Night. Millie hummed along, off-key and too loud. Ethan didn't mind. He thought about the fact that he still didn't have gifts to hand Sonia, or Andrew, or Millie, and realized for the first time he didn't care. When Mass ended, and everyone began to file out, Sonia nudged him. So, she said, no presents. Ethan looked at her, at Andrew's bandaged arm, at Millie leaning sleepily against his side, at Sister Clara near the door, smiling like she'd just watched something sacred. I already got mine, he said. What? Millie asked. He slipped his arm around Sonia's shoulders and bumped his other against Andrew's. You, he said simply. All of you. And him, he said, pointing toward the sky. Sonia groaned. That was so cheesy. Extremely, Andrew agreed. Millie yawned. I liked it. God is the greatest gift we could ever ask for, right? They stepped out into the Bronx night together. Snow drifted down. Somewhere, a siren wailed. Somewhere else, carolers sang off-key. The world was still loud and broken and complicated. But under the cracked street lamp, with their breath steaming in the cold and their hearts strangely light, it felt, for a moment, like holy ground. And for once, Ethan wasn't trying to take anything. He was just grateful.